Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing this evening? I know most of you are not used to me broadcasting from this page. And so I'm going to actually share this to my page because I really want to do the Wellness Wednesday pop-ups from the business page. So if you give me a second here to get this shared so that we can get some people on. Here we go. Yes. Here. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and share this. Awesome. Alrighty, we have this shared to my regular page. And so hopefully some of you all will join me on here. I have been posting it and I had been sharing it and letting you know that I would be launching today's Wellness Wednesday for our Wellness Matters. So again, once you connect, please go ahead and like and share because we are going to be sharing some very important information with you all as it relates to our health and wellness, as it relates to rest, stress relief. We will be talking about massage therapy. We will also be sharing some information on and getting ready to launch a 30-day self-care wellness challenge, which is something that we all need to be more aware of. Hello, sis. Thank you for popping on. Thank you so much for sharing. Welcome, April. Thank you for joining me. Was just... as I had stated before, I was wanting to do the Wellness Wednesdays, the pop-up lives here on the business page, because that is where I will be sharing most of the information as it relates to our health and our wellness and actually walking into wholeness. And so we'll be talking about a number of different topics in the weeks and in the months to come to get us on track and get us to the place of wholeness. And so I just wanted to do just a little teaching on today. There are going to be some Wednesdays where I will come on and I will actually be doing some live demonstrations as it relates to simple massage techniques that you can do on your partner. I will be also doing some live classes and webinars here, connecting it to the Facebook page on some of the essential oil classes that I do offer, and I'm getting those back out there and the information about the benefits of that, and actually starting some Bible studies. Because we need to be educated on not only the benefits, but on the origin, to know that the essential oils, it is biblical. They use them in the Bible days, and how we have access to such a great resource that God has left us, and we need to really be taking advantage of using more natural remedies when it comes to our health and wellness. So Definitely want you, if you have not already followed and liked my page, to please be sure that you like the page, because again, this is where that information will be coming, and I will just be sharing it to my regular page. So on tonight, I just really wanted to give us a quick overview, a preview of one of the things that we are going to be talking about, and preparing us for this 30-day self-care challenge. I did it last year with a small group that I had, and it can be kind of challenging in order to discipline ourselves and to take the time to really take care and to manage, our health and our wellness, to make sure that we are taking the time to take care of ourselves, which is something that most of us really don't do, and especially us as women. And don't even mention if you are a wife and a mother, then you almost feel like you have zero time. But we have to learn to make time for ourselves, because when we wear ourselves out, then we're no good for anyone else. And I've had to learn that over the years. So I just want to talk very briefly on today about what self-care is and what self-care isn't. So self-care. So what exactly is self-care? What does that mean? What are the type of things that we can do to take care of ourselves? So self-care is any activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. And although it's a very simple concept, when you read it, or even when you just look at it, to get an overview of it, the key to self-care is to have an improved mood, to reduce any stress and anxiety that you may have in your life. But self-care is also very important in having good relationship, not only with others, but first and foremost with yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having good relationship with yourself, because again, if you're not happy and satisfied with yourself, you're going to make everyone else miserable, and you're going to be trying to find and seek that peace and that happiness in other methods. And it's not going to do you any good, because it's something that is internal that each and every single one of us has the responsibility of maintaining. So that is self-care. Now, what isn't self-care? What isn't self-care? So self-care, it is not something that we force ourselves to do. It's also something that we don't enjoy doing. That is not self-care. Self-care is something that is going to refuel you, recharge you. It is never going to take away from you. So if you have an activity or particular activity and it's causing you stress and anxiety even to think about doing it, you may need to, and I'll just use working out. We all know that working out and physical activity is good for us, but sometimes we have to work our way into that by changing our mindset, or changing our thought process, or even finding out, what is stopping you or what is blocking you from truly not wanting to do something that is going to be beneficial for you. And so we have to begin to take a closer look at some of these concerns. And so our self-care is always going to be something that it should be something that we enjoy doing. It is also, it allows us to be able to not only take care of ourselves well, but to take care of others well, and do a well job at it. And so that's what self-care is, not something that you just don't enjoy doing. So me personally, I love to, when the weather is nice, I love to go out. I found a new spot here, and I've been in Columbus for 13 years, going on 13 years now. Greetings to you all that are coming on. How are you doing? Prophet Patrick and my sister Nicole. I have never been to, oh my goodness. What is the place that I was going to? Y'all saw me posting it, out by the water where they go and they run all of the steps. Oh goodness, it'll come back to me, but it's a really nice place where there's water. Water is very relaxing to me. And I tell you, when I discovered that place last summer, and it's not that I discovered it, I've known about it. I just never took the trek to the other side of town to actually go there and to enjoy it. Yes, thank you, April. Hoover Dam. I had never been to Hoover Dam in all of the years that I've been here in Columbus, and I would see people post pictures, but I just thought that, heck, I don't like running, so I'm definitely not going to go and be trying to run up all of them stairs. That's not something that I enjoy doing. That's not a part of my personal self-care routine. I would have to work my way up to that. And so I had the opportunity to begin just to go out there and to sit by the water. And I tell you, every chance and every opportunity that I got to do it, I did it. I did it. I would go, I would take my chair, I would have my little snacks, I would have my journal, and I would just sit and I would just listen and I would just decompose and decompress just from the entire week. Being a massage therapist, we have to be careful because we are around, other people's energy. Our spirits are often open, and we're very sensitive to our clients and to their needs. And it is very, very important for us when you have this type of profession, when you're working with so many different people, that you find those things, that you have a self-care routine in place. And so I had to begin to find those things that allowed me to decompress and to de-stress, activities that I love and that I enjoy doing. And going to Hoover Dam, sitting out by the water with my journal, was perfect for me. Of course, being a massage therapist, I get a massage every week. I have a friend and we trade off, and we've been doing it consistently, probably for about four or 5 years now. And so listening to music is also a part, an activity that I enjoy, that allows me to relieve my stress. And so every person has to find out what it is that works for them. Journaling and writing, painting is a newfound love. Painting and sketching are newfound loves for me, where I find that I'm able to de-stress. And so everyone has to find out what is that one thing that you enjoy doing, that is going to allow you to begin to relieve the stress and allow us to come into to having a balanced life. Greetings to those of you that are joining me. Good day, Success Sis. Welcome, 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 DeAndrea. And so self-care. Especially for those of us that are women and those that are mothers and wives. So many times we feel guilty about taking time away because there's 1,000 other things that we need to be doing. But we feel guilty about taking even 5 minutes to ourselves. Sometimes when especially if you have younger children, you can't even go to the bathroom without them. Mommy, knocking on the door. Mommy, what is it that you're doing? Mommy, let me come in. And mommy. And I'm, praise you, Jesus, way past that stage. My children are adults. But I remember those days, and I did not always have that balance to say, you know what, mommy needs 5 minutes, just to be to herself. But it's not selfish. And I can't tell you how many people that come to get a massage where they feel like they feel guilty about it. They feel guilty about spending money in order to allow themselves to relieve the stress and the anxiety and the frustration they feel guilty about it. And I always have to begin to educate people, that listen, if you aren't taking care of yourself, you aren't going to be better and able to take care of anything else. So it's important, for us, to really find that thing and not feel guilty, because self-care is not selfish. That's right, Nicole. We are on the backside of that mountain, and I'm happy about it. So, it's not selfish. It's not about considering just our needs, but it is knowing that we have a need within our own selves, that we need to take care of ourselves. And in order to take care of others well, we first have to take care of ourselves. So it's, we have to just get to that place where we want to give our best selves, to our family. We want to give our best selves, to our employers and to our coworkers, to those that we come into contact with. We always want to give our best selves, and you're not going to be able to do that, and you're not going to be able to have a balanced life if you don't take the time to make self-care a priority, to discipline yourself, to find out, even if it's just one thing that you do, find that one thing that you do and be disciplined and set a schedule in order to do it. A lot of people ask, I would always post sometimes on Sundays, because Sunday is my self-care day. That is the day that I go and I get my massage. And I would always sometimes joke with people, what are my favorite things to do on Sundays? And those that know me, they would always know, you're going to get a massage. And I don't let anything. The only time that I miss my appointment is if I'm out of town, or if we just need to happen to move it to a different day. But I don't let anything interrupt or interfere with me going to get my massage. And my family knows that. They're like, well, you're either going to have to do it before, or we're going to have to do it afterwards, because I'm going to get my massage. And so once you begin to establish, those boundaries and establish a routine, it becomes easier, for you to begin to walk out and to live a balanced life. So just 3 golden rules that I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to jump off of here. So 3 golden rules for where do I start? Where do I start? So golden rule number 1 is to stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Over time, you're going to find your rhythm. You're going to find your routine. And then as you get into, you find that one thing, then you'll be able to implement more things, and you'll be able to identify more particular forms of self-care that's going to work for you. Because what may work for me may not work for you. So stick to the basics. Find one thing. Find one thing. And I challenge you all to find one thing. If you don't have a regular self-care routine, start off with number 1. Find one thing that you can do, that you can say, you know what? This is my time, and I'm not going to allow anything or anyone to interrupt it. And even if it's just for 15 minutes, 15 minutes can be so rejuvenating. It can be so refreshing to you, but you'll never know it unless you do it. So number 1, stick to the basics. Number 2 is that self-care needs to be something you actively plan rather than something that just happens. Self-care needs to be something that you actively plan rather something that just happens. So you have to plan it out. If you have a calendar, for people that have like children that are in sports and they have a billion and one things that they have to do throughout the week, how do you maintain that? You maintain it because you have a schedule. So you have to prioritize yourself with that schedule. So find something that you can stick to the basics, number 1, but plan it out. So make a date with yourself. Make a date with yourself and don't allow anything to interrupt your date. So you can do things, you can do this. This is very easy. You can use, everybody has a cell phone nowadays. You can put it on your calendar. You can set off an alarm if you need to, but you can schedule it on your calendar. You can add these certain activities to your calendar, but always look for opportunities to practice self-care. Look for them. Even if you say that you have, and sometimes this is what I'll do. If I know that I have a break in between clients, I don't have a problem with laying down on my own massage table and taking a nap. I actively looked for opportunities to practice my own self-care. Excuse me. So, the golden rule number 3 is to keep a conscious mind of what counts. Excuse me. Keep a conscious mind of what counts. You have to train your mind to consciously think about self-care. Excuse me. I remember when I first started doing massage therapy, and for years I have worked administrative jobs. So I sat at a computer and I could literally almost sit there for 8 hours a day. And I would notice that, you know, when you're at a computer, a lot of times you're hunched up and your shoulders are up to your ears. And what I had to do was when I would notice that I would have the stress and the tension, and you have to be intentional about it. So you have to become very aware of your body posture. You have to become very aware. And what I would notice is that when I would get, stressed out, because I used to do payroll, and I had over 425 employees with 5 different sites on 2 different pay cycles. So for me, it never ended. I was always doing payroll for somebody every single week. And so what I had to do was I had to consciously train my mind to be aware of my body posture, to be aware if I am becoming overwhelmed. And what I would do is when I would notice that my shoulders would be hunched up, then I would do breathing exercises. And I would breathe in, hold it, and then exhale. And then I would breathe in, and as you notice that every time I inhaled and I would exhale, my shoulders would come down. And so that was one of the things that I had to do, was become very conscious minded about what I was doing, what I was engaged in, and how my body was responding. So your body will always tell you, your body will always alert you to what is going on internally. So if you don't see something as self-care, or you don't do something in order to take care of yourself, it's not going to work. So you have to be aware of what you do. You have to be aware of why you do it. You have to be aware of how it makes you feel. And you have to know what the outcomes are. So if I know that doing deep breathing exercises is going to allow my body to relax and allow my shoulders to come out of my ears, then, and I know how that feels at the end of that process, then I'm going to be more apt to discipline myself to do it and to become consistent with it and to consciously remind myself of this is what I need to do in order to remove this threat of stress and anxiety. So these are just some quick, self-care tips that I wanted to share with you all on today, and just give us an overview of what self-care is, what it's not, to allow you to even think about your own self-care routine. Do you have one? And if not, to give you some pointers on the benefits of self-care. And then finally, to invite you to join in to the 30-day self-care challenge that is going to take place starting March the 1st. And so you're definitely going to want to participate in that. What I am going to do is right here in the comments down here, I'm going to place the link where you can actually go ahead and sign up on the contact list through the website. And you'll want to go ahead and subscribe so that I can get you added to the mail list, because I will be sending those out on a daily basis, and then doing like a little 5-minute reminder just to check in with everyone on where you are. Did you do your self-care for the day? Because as we all know, the getting into a routine takes discipline. And the more you do a thing, the more you become aware of it, and then the more you're more apt to do it. And so this is basically what I wanted to share with you all for today's Wellness Matters pop-up live for our very first one. Again, to introduce myself to you and some things that we are going to be talking about, on Wellness Matters. There are going to be times where I will be bringing in guest speakers to also give us information about how we can become well. So, we're going to be talking about massage therapy. We're going to talk about essential oils. We're going to be talking about fitness. We'll be talking about juicing and just all of those things that really are beneficial to what it is that we need in order for us to accomplish our goal. And our goal is to take it from just being well, but actually to wholeness. Because that's what he desires for us. He desires for us to live in wholeness. And so, but there's a process. And all of that is really connected to healing. We may not always think about, healing so often. And even when we read in the Bible about instantaneous, miracles and healings that took place. But there's different type of healings. There's the healing that we receive when we come to salvation, when we accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. That is one healing that take place. And then there is the instantaneous healing of Iameo, where things are instantly healed. But oftentimes that's not where we are. Oftentimes we are at the other healing, which is therapeuo, which is where our English word of therapy or therapeutic comes from. And that is what happens over time. And so we are not going to walk in the therapeuo healing without doing the things that we need in order to bring our mind, our body, and our soul into alignment. And so these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. We'll be talking about our emotions. That's really the vein that the Lord has me in, is decoding the health crisis. which is, I'm going to do a book plug here. Bam. In the Seven Mountains. As one of the co-authors in Speak to the Mountains, the anthology, I actually wrote a chapter in this book on decoding the health crisis and on how important it is for us to understand our emotional wellness and our emotions and how our emotions impact our physical health. And so it is very important. I encourage you to get this. There are some phenomenal co-authors, over 30, that have participated in the Speak to the Mountains. And one of them is my sister, Nicole, and her husband, Tony. They did a powerful piece on the family mountain. And this book can only be, it can be purchased on my website, the very same website that I placed the link in the comment section. But it's very important for us to understand of how our emotions affect our physical health, and to begin to decode these things so that we can truly begin the process of walking into wellness and further into wholeness, because wholeness is ultimately the desire. Wholeness is ultimately the goal for us. So I just thank you all for tuning in. Yes, Nicole, this book is hot. I don't think that we really understand the fullness of what's really inside of here. I believe that over time that we are going to really see, how powerful this anthology project is. And we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. And so if you follow me on my regular page, I am going to be partnering with some of the other co-authors and bringing them on when I do the Jewel Speak radio show. And bringing them on so that they can share their piece, so that they can share, their testimony. It's some powerful things and examples and prayers and declarations that is in that book that you need to have. You really need to have it as a part of, not just having it a part of your library, but really taking it to make a change and an impact into your own personal life. So with that being said, I just thank you all just for taking this time out, to join me here for our Wellness Matters pop-up live. It is going to be on Wednesdays. There's going to be some Wednesdays where I may be a little bit later coming on, but I'm still trying to find the proper time, because I know a lot of people do Bible study on Wednesdays, but the replay will always be available. Go ahead, and if you have not already liked the Facebook page, because that is where I will be doing the Facebook Lives from, and also that's where all of the content will be posted. I probably won't be sharing too much of the content every now and again on my regular personal page. So I really want you all just to tap into what is about to be released here. And again, I just thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on. I just want to speak blessings to each of you, and really take, consideration what I've shared here on this evening on the benefits and the blessing of self-care. So until we meet again, I just want to say shalom, shalom, shalom. Love, blessings, and peace to each of you. And we will catch you on next Wednesday evening. And just stay tuned for the time. But we will be doing our pop-up live here for Wellness Matters. I am your host, Shelby Frederick, licensed massage therapist, raindrop practitioner, and certified aroma freedom technique practitioner. Alrighty, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining. God bless. Bye-bye.